Hi everyone, I'm John Hayden. One of the great things about living in South Florida is we have a great art scene. And unlike up north, we don't have to fight bone-chilling cold to get to our theaters. The 2023-24 season is kicking into high gear, and the Lauderhill Performing Art Center has a great slate of shows. They're teaming up with GENVAS, or Generation Venetian Art Society, whose mission is presenting powerful messages of hope, inspiration, and unity by employing state-of-the-art technology to make this noble and artistic humanitarian vision a reality. With that in mind, they're presenting Liz Callaway, Broadway and Beyond. Liz is a Tony nominee and Emmy Award-winning performer. Not only does she have a great stage presence, she's an amazing singer. She even kills it while sitting in traffic.
We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men.
She's out of traffic, thankfully, and now she's here. Welcome so much, Liz. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be speaking with you today, John. I feel like I should have been in my car. Had I known, I would have done this through my car, just sitting in my driveway. But I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm so looking forward to bringing my show to Lauderhill, and actually hearing that song, "Beautiful City," by Stephen Schwartz from the movie Godspell, makes me think you were talking about GENVAS, and that might be a great song for me to do in my show. I think I just may sing that in my show.
I don't think there's ever a bad moment to sing that song. It is absolutely beautiful, and your voice lends it an amazing amount of credibility. It's beautiful. But like you said, you're coming to Lauderhill at the Performing Arts Center on December 9th. Now, of course, booking a date in December in South Florida, especially for a New Yorker this time of year, that's a no-brainer. Absolutely. But also...
Absolutely.
But you're here for a great program. How did GENVAS catch your eye?
They actually got in touch with my agent and they told me about the organization, what they stood for, and they asked if I would do a concert. My sister actually did a concert for them, not in the at the Performing Arts Center, but I think it was I'm guessing maybe 6 months ago. So she also did a special show for them, and of course, as you said, the idea of coming to South Florida in December, the timing was very, very nice. But I'm really looking forward to creating a very special program just for this show. Broadway and Beyond. I call my show that because it gives me an opportunity to sing sing Broadway, movies, pop music, maybe a holiday song, and I'll tailor it for this night.
That's so great because, usually around this time of year, all shows are Christmas shows. There's Jingle Bells, there's Deck the Halls, there's a ton that my cold medicine-addled brain right now can't even recall. But we hit on some Godspell. What other things would you like to perform?
Well, there's certain things from my career. I did Cats on Broadway for 5 years. And so I'm pretty sure I'll be singing Memory in this concert, recreating what I did. Will for sure be singing some movie songs, including my Oscar-nominated song I sang in the animated movie Anastasia. Mm-hmm. I love 60s pop music. I think everybody loves that. Is always happy to hear some songs from that era, and I'm going to be singing some songs by Stephen Sondheim, who meant so much to me. I made my Broadway debut in Merrily We Roll Along, which ran for 2 weeks on Broadway when I did it, and now it's this huge hit on Broadway.
It's huge.
And I recorded a live album of a Sondheim show that I have been doing. I just got back from doing 3 performances of it in Madrid. and I recorded a live album of it. And I just found out it was nominated for a Grammy Award. So everything is sort of, it's kind of a wild and crazy time. And I'm just so grateful for all that I get to do, and the chance to share my music with people. And in South Florida, and now with this Grammy nomination, to an international audience as well that may not be familiar with my music.
I mean, you're obviously you're nominated for a Grammy, also the Tony nominee, Emmy Award winner. You don't do this for the awards or the nominations, but they are a certain amount. They have to bring a certain amount of validation, of professional validation from your peers.
Absolutely. It's funny. I've always felt a part of the Broadway community. That's, I've spent so much of my career on Broadway, but this Grammy nomination, it's interesting. For the first time, I was going through all the different categories and all the nominees, and I realized, wow, there's so many different kinds of music. And I think I feel for the first time really part of the music community as well, which is really special, because you're right. We don't do what we do because of awards and nominations, and we don't need that kind of validation. My big love is performing and sharing music and really having a relationship with my audiences. I love recording, but there's nothing better than singing live and sharing my music. And I often think that people in the audience don't realize how important they are. They give so much. I feed off of my audiences, and I always want, at the end of one of my shows, I'd love people to feel like they just had dinner with me. They enjoyed the show and heard great music, but also, oh, we got to know her, and she's, I tell a lot of stories in my shows, and that's just who I am.
It's so interesting that you talk about feeding off the audience, because I've been to hundreds, probably over 1,000 shows in my life of varying degrees, from Duran Duran concerts to Liza Minnelli, just the whole range. It comes with the job. I suffer for my art. But when you talk about,
yeah, that sounds like suffering.
Such an arduous career. But when you talk about feeding off the audience, do you ever change it up? I mean, I know it's hard to change it up mid-set when you've got, backing orchestra, but do you ever just go, oh, this reminds me of a song, and just belt out a few bars and then just get back into it, just to kind of go with the audience?
I have, as a matter of fact. And in this particular concert, I'm going to be doing, I'm singing with just piano. My longtime musical director, pianist, Alex Rybeck, is coming with me. And we've worked together for a very long time. So I can say to him, oh, maybe we'll do this song, or maybe we'll do this song. We pretty much have it planned. But yes, sometimes there needs to be room for spontaneity, because sometimes that's when the magic happens. Mm-hmm. And when I was just in Madrid doing my Sondheim show, it was for a Spanish audience, and so everything was on subtitles, including what I said. So I had to be much more close to a script, because I thought, oh, say something I want, because it's not going to match with the subtitles. So it's going to be nice to have that freedom, to be in the moment, because even if I'm singing songs I've sung many times, it's always different every time I sing it. And keeping it fresh and new, and also I just feeling what the audience is, what are they like, and do they get my sense of humor? And, I really enjoy it. It's just, and especially after, the pandemic and not being able to performing to my phone or my laptop for nearly 2 years, I savor every chance I have to actually connect live with people. It's a gift, not just for me as a singer, but when I'm in the audience, I'm just so that there's live music again.
Yeah, I think pandemic sort of caught us all by surprise, because we were just doing our things, and then all of a sudden, all the things that we took for granted, including the arts, just sort of didn't evaporate, but certainly receded and weren't really necessarily accessible. So it's great to be back. The audiences are grateful to have you back. So thank you so much for that. Now,
Well, and there's an incredible energy too right now with that.
Yeah, and you
as
don't
well,
get that,
which is so special.
And you don't get that performing over the phone, or you might do live chats while you're singing, but you just don't get that energy feedback.
Oh, not at all. It's like you finish a song and it's like nothing, and it's just it's. I'm very grateful for the technology that live streaming is wonderful. I still am doing some of my shows are still live streamed, and it's a great way for people who can't get to a theater to see something. But nothing is the same as being in the room and live music.
Now, I know you've never been to the Lauderhill Performing Art Center. I want to tell you, it is really an amazing venue to play. It really is fun. It's very community oriented, and it shows that area's commitment to the arts. So, I mean, I think you're going to get a very warm welcome from this particular SoFlo audience. I really do. But now I know you've been to South Florida before, though, right?
Oh, yes, many times. I think the last time I was there was I did a concert in Fort Lauderdale with Symphony of the America concert, and I've been in Palm Beach many times, and but yeah, no, never Lauderhill, and I can't wait. What you've said, I've heard it's a beautiful space to sing in, and I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to have time to play tennis. I'm a tennis player, but sometimes when I get to South Florida, I bring my racket with me.
So that's what you like to do, come down here, get a little winter game in.
Yeah, if I can, I sure do. I actually want to go to spring training this spring. Come down to Florida just for spring training. I think that I did that once, and I that's something I hope to do this spring.
I like to get up to Palm Beach County. A couple of the St. Louis Cardinals have their their winter league down here, and it really is. It's just a fun day. It's like when I was a kid in a small stadium, seeing great players. Something about it just brings the magic of childhood baseball back.
Absolutely. I want to go. I'm a Mets fan, so I want to go to Port St. Lucie, and if I can, and it's a little more north, I think, but yeah, I'd love that.
Oh, love that. Now, when you talk about the things that your favorite things to say and connecting with the audience, tell me what you get the most requests for from the audience, and that you really enjoy performing.
Oh, let's see. I get a lot of requests for my Anastasia song. I get a lot of requests for a song called "The Story Goes On," which is from the musical Baby, which was my first big role on Broadway. That's who I got my Tony nomination from. And it's interesting because Baby, it's not a show that has been done all over the world or all over the country, but SiriusXM plays my songs from Baby all the time. And so a lot of people know that song just from listening to it on SiriusXM. So I know there are people who are going to want to hear that. And what about you? Do you have any? I know you're coming to the show. Do you have any songs?
Well, of course, you mentioned "Memory" from Cats, which is a favorite. I'm a child of the '80s, so that was one of the formative musicals of my growing up. I'm a big fan of Sir Mix-a-Lot's "Baby Got Back," but I don't know how that would play in the Lauderhill audience.
I don't know if I have time to learn that one, but maybe if I make a repeat, appearance, I'll check that out. You have eclectic taste like me.
I do. Oh, anything that mirrors you, I will take as an absolute compliment.
Thank you. Yeah, I often don't know, I'll probably decide exactly what I'm going to sing probably the week before, but I always have Alex, my pianist, bring a bunch more songs so that I can go at the last minute, oh, let's do this. Or if someone writes to me on Facebook and says, oh, please sing this song. And if I can do it, I will.
you've mentioned Alex a couple of times. How do you find someone that like is the musical yin to your yang?
Well, we actually met over 40 years ago in our first Broadway show, Merrily We Roll Along. He was an intern with the music department. And it wasn't until I was doing Miss Saigon on Broadway and I was getting ready to record my first album of Frank Lesser music. And Alex came to see me after a performance in Miss Saigon. I hadn't seen him in years. And he said, so I said, so what are you doing with yourself? And he goes, oh, I'm doing arrangements and I'm in, musical directing. And I said, oh, I'm actually looking for an arranger for this album I'm making. And I said, why don't we get together and spend a couple hours and play and just try some stuff? And we just hit it off. And we've been, collaborating ever since. So it's been, oh gosh, really since we started doing albums, almost 30 years, and he also plays for shows I do with my sister, Ann Callaway. And it's, and I've worked with other pianists as well. But when you really know someone, there's just a shorthand and, when you have a history with someone, it's very special.
So like you can like turn to him in the middle of a show and go, Alex, let's sing the thing we did at that place that one time, and he'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Or if I remember once we did a show together in Barcelona and I had gotten no sleep and it's like, Alex, can you lower the keys in a couple songs for me to make it easier? And he did. And it's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not that many pianists can do that on the spot, but he can. He's remarkable.
Let me ask you a question, because obviously over the course of your career, technologies have changed. Certainly recording has gotten better. And recording is easier. Like, I could be sitting here right now and doing this whole interview if I wanted on my phone. How much, whenever you're just sitting down to play around, how often do you just start recording because you're like, something good might come along and I want to remember it? And how much do you just kind of just go and just do it and maybe you'll miss something, but you're just doing it for the joy?
Every time I have a rehearsal and I've always done this for anything, if I'm like, getting together, say with Alex, and we're going to try a bunch of songs maybe for an album, or putting together a show to do with my sister and we get together, I record every rehearsal. I record everything because you never know you're going to get that magic. And so and now of course it's so easy because you can just record on your phone. It's much easier back than when I would carry like a little cassette, tape recorder. But I have cassette tapes from 25 years ago that are not the greatest qualities, but just because you're right, you never know if you're going to capture some magic, and it's something I truly believe in. But then again, my iTunes library with all my various voice memos is a disaster, but they're all there.
But I have to be better at labeling. On a boring night, you can just like go through the disastry of your list and just play one and be like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I found something. I started a newsletter on Substack, the publishing platform, and I call it Between Flights. And it's very new, and I find it's like a way to create and share behind the scenes things and things from the vault. And I have thought, oh, this is an opportunity to share some of these rehearsals from 20 years ago of a song. Maybe I'll never perform it in concert, but I have it, and just to hear, it's fun. I'm really happy to have. I want to find a way to share some of these kind of magical moments where we were trying songs.
Well, and I was looking at your YouTube channel, which I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to because there's so much great content on there, and you're in so many different locations.
Yes. I started really working on my YouTube channel during the pandemic because I had time. And I was like, I went, oh, I haven't posted a song in a while. I need to do this. But it's a really interesting, I love to sing in my car. I have a whole series on my YouTube channel called Auto Tunes because I've always loved practicing in my car. I just enjoy, I have a CD player still. And in fact, after we talk, I'm doing a Christmas show, a new Christmas show with my sister in New York. And I'm going to burn a CD of tracks so that I can practice my Christmas music for that, as I go to the mall today and buy some candles, barrel, and do a few returns. That's on my agenda after we speak.
Oh, okay, that sounds fair. Yeah, Christmas shopping. I know you're coming on the 9th. We're recording this a couple weeks ahead of time, but where are you on your Christmas shopping?
Zero. I thought my son's some luggage tags for his stocking. That's about as far as I've gotten. I'm, I try to keep a list going and dorming. The fact that I'm going to be with my sister on Christmas is the biggest gift because she lives in Tucson. And so unless we're working together, we may not be together. So she'll be in New York Christmas week with me, which is I'm really looking forward to. So that's the best present of all.
What favorite Christmas song or holiday song?
Our family's favorite Christmas song is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." That to me is like the ultimate Christmas song. I'm also a big fan of "Grown Up Christmas List." Is one of my favorite songs to sing. I've recorded 2 Christmas albums, and I've never recorded it, but I'm very fond of "Sleigh Ride." That's like my favorite goofy Christmas song. Just makes me happy. What about you?
Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Absolutely my favorite. And then there's a version of 12 Days of Christmas that Straight No Chaser did. They're an a cappella group out of Indiana University, and they are fantastic. And they did a version of 12 Days that is on my iTunes playlist and that I'm going to open up for the holiday season, and that's definitely in there.
Oh, I'm going to have to check that out. Well, I hope you your Christmas Spotify playlist. I have some good Christmas songs in there that I think you'll enjoy. And actually, since you seem to have a slightly, I'm not going to say warped sense of humor, but kind of an interesting, the first Christmas album I did was a 5-song EP called Merry and Bright. And one of the songs is when my son Nicholas was in college, he did a lot of a cappella arranging. And so he did a very kind of warped a cappella arrangement of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And I did all the voices on it together. So I think you should check that out. And I think that on your playlist. It's very funny. It's fun. It's not how one usually hears the song.
I'm going to download that as soon as we wrap up here. And you, after we've been talking about 15 minutes, I'd guess, and you've already picked up that I'm warped. I'm like, you and my friend group would have a lot to talk about. Like you're absolutely spot on.
Yeah. Well, just another thing we have in common. I can tell, just talking to you on my laptop. I like your sense of humor very, very much.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this has been the best interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. This has been so great talking to you, and I'm so happy you're going to be at the show. And please come and say hi after the show so we can meet in person. And I'm so looking forward to this con. I promise anyone watching and listening a very good time on December 9th. So, yeah.
All right, Liz, thank you so much. Once again, you'll be at the Lauderhill Performing Art Center December 9th, 7:30 p.m. as part of the GENVAS Broadway and your Broadway and Beyond show with GENVAS. Tickets are on sale now. Go, click on them. And check out Liz's YouTube channel. It is so definitely a rabbit hole worth going down. Now, we're only going to sort of say goodbye here. You recorded a message for us ahead of this interview from your home office. So I'm going to leave you virtually and have you sing us out.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement, as the moon lost her memory, she is smiling alone. Hi everyone, Liz Callaway here. I am so excited because GENVAS, in collaboration with the Lauderhill Performing Art Center, is presenting my show, Broadway and Beyond, on Saturday, December 9th. It's going to be a fantastic evening of Broadway showstoppers, movie songs, and so much more. If you join me, you'll understand what happiness is. So come see me December 9th. See you then.